Cleric Guide, starting builds. One of my favorite classes in the game. Tons of spells, a lot of different domains. You can play them as tanky supports, squishy supports, fighter supports, necros, fire battle clerics, necro battle clerics. Options are limitless here. Let's pick the best ones available and showcase them in this guide. Angelfire Apostle Cleric starting build. Knowledge of Arcana and World, Persuasion and Lore Religion are skills that clerics likes the most. This subclass is proficient with shields and light armor. Channel Positive Energy is classic here, AoE heal for the entire team. Wisdom is the most important attribute for all clerics. Race. Human and Dwarf are the best option for clerics. Aasimars, Half-Elves, they're also valid. Dhampirs are great as necro clerics, while Orid race is good for poison acid clerics. We start with classic human, then we will pass through all races. Background selection. Noble Emissary is a solid option here. Oblate, Acolyte, Regional, Andoran Diplomat, Gibeon Necromancer, Mendavian Orphan, Nexian Scholar, Osiran Historian. The entire Scholar branch is also valid too. So, let's pick Noble Emissary for this guide. I repeat, everything I said is a solid choice. Allocating ability points, attributes. Safest way to play is 12, 12, 12, 12, 20 and 10. Of course, all of this depends on the type of a cleric and his spells too. For playing a tank cleric, your main focus will be Constitution and Wisdom, for example. For range, support cleric, Dexterity and Wisdom. For bruiser cleric, it will be Strength and Wisdom, and so on. Skills. Allocating skill points, just pick greens and off we go. Feats. Again, it varies. Clerics are tricky, you need endurance, toughness, you'll need spell focus. If you want to deal damage from afar, like a mage, you'll get evocation. If you want to buff your team, you'll get divination, enchantments, and so on. For this subclass, we will take divination and enchantment. Deity. Asmodeus, Zon-Kuton, Torag, they're the best options for clerics, but to be honest, everything is valid. Again, there are a lot of cleric types. Try to stick with the weapon you want to play with when you pick your deity. Same goes with alignment, it's your choice. Domains. This is what I was talking about at the start. It's complicated. Million types of cleric. Fire domain will cast fire-based skills, flame strikes, and so on. For human Angelfire Apostle, we will take Aura of Efficiency in Artifice domain so we can buff our entire team. Dwarf Angelfire Apostle Clerics now. Barrow Dwarf is just great, take him as a cleric. Everything else you'll copy from the human build. Dhampir, Vampire, Angelfire Apostle Cleric. Man, the name. Nosferatu Born, Ancient Born is the way to go here. For the background we'll go with Regional Gibeon Necromancer. Attributes will be 14, 12, 12, 10, 20 and 9. For skills we'll pick Lore, Religion and Persuasion. For feats we're gonna pick Spell Focus, Necromancy. Zon-Kuton will be our deity. Domains, they're all good, but I like Destruction domain the most here for our Dhampir, Vampire, Angelfire, Apostle, Necro, Regional, Gibeon, Zon-Kuton Cleric. Repeat that if you can. This game is crazy. Whatever domain you decide to pick, you won't be wrong. Last in line is Orid Angelfire Apostle. We'll pick Classic Orid for Heritage, Noble Emissary for background. Attributes will be 16, 10, 16, 10, 18 and 8. We take Lore and Persuasion for skill points. Enchantment or Divination spell focus in feats. For domain, Lamatsu with Strength domain is very solid. Gozrech, Plant domain and Gorum, War domain are also worth to consider here. Alignment is your choice, pick whatever you like. Crusader Cleric starting build. Knowledge of Arcana and World, Persuasion and Lore Religion are skills that clerics like the most. This subclass is proficient with shields and light armor. Channel Positive Energy is classic here, AoE heal for the entire team. Wisdom is the most important attribute for all clerics. Crusader receives bonus feat on every 5th level. Races. Human and Dwarf are the best option for clerics. Aasimars, Half-Elves, they're all valid choice. Dhampirs are great for Necro Clerics, while Oread race is good for Poison, Acid, Crusader, Cleric. We start with Classic Human, then we will pass through all the races. Noble Emissary is a good option. Oblate Acolyte, Regional, Diplomat, Necromancer, Orphan, Scholar, Historian. Basically the entire Scholar branch is also valid. Let's pick Noble Emissary for this guide, but I repeat, everything is solid choice. Allocating ability points. This is classic, 1610, 1610, 1610. Skills. We pick greens with World, Lore and Persuasion. You're not wrong if you switch World for Arcana. Feats. Conjuration, Divination, Abjuration and Enchantment are all valid options here for Crusader Cleric as a human. Let's be real, even Necromancy and Evocation are great. That's how Cleric class is. In this case of a Crusader, we'll go with Enchantment and Divination. He can also profit out of Die Hard, Endurance, Toughness, Extra Channeling, and so on. We will go with Enchantment and Divination. Worst part of this is Deity. If you pick Evil, you'll get cool domains for Crusader like Strength Domain, War Domain. If you pick good Deity, you'll probably go for some Armor class domains. My recommendations are Seidan Salian Strength Domain, Desna's Luck Domain, Erastiel Animal Domain will get you an Animal Companion for free. The easiest way to play Cleric, or better to say, it applies for Crusader also. Gorum Positive Channel War Domain is great. Gorum Glory Domain is hilarious. It's a buff for your entire party. Gorum Destruction Domain is also phenomenal. Whatever you pick, you won't get disappointed, that's for sure. I know it's hard to pick something with so many options. I will have my own headaches around this. I just gave you the best options here. In this case, we will pick Gorum, Channel Positive Energy, Glory Domain. At the end, we get Crusader's bonus feat on every 5th level, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. Here, we could take Shield Focus, for example, for the start. Alignment is your choice, pick whatever you like. Dwarf Crusader Clerics now. Battle Dwarf is great, stick with it. Everything else, just copy from Human. Dhampir, Vampire Crusader Cleric now. Nosferatu Born, Ancient Born is the way to go, with Gibeon Necromancy as a background. Attributes will remain the same. Skills will remain the same. What you'll pick here instead of enchantment for feats will be Necromancy, and your deity could be Zon Kuton, anything basically that's evil, and you want Destructive Aura for your domain. Aasimar Crusader Cleric now. Lawbringer if you plan to play melee tank Crusader. Plume Kit if you plan to play Animal Companion ranged Crusader. Lawbringer goes with Strength, Constitution and Wisdom. Plume Kit goes with Dexterity and Wisdom. Background selection, stick with the Emissary. Everything else, just copy from Human. Devilbane Priest Cleric starting build. Devilbanes aka Demon Hunters. This subclass is proficient with heavy armor and shields, so these are tanky motherfuckers, Demon Hunters. Knowledge of Arcana and World, Persuasion and Lore Religion are skills that clerics like the most. They are the masters of Knowledge Arcana and they're limited to only one domain. Races, Human and Dwarf are the best option for clerics. Aasimars and Dhampirs are also a valid choice. We start with humans, then we transfer to other races. Background selection. Regional Cheliexian Diabolist is the only way to go here. Abilities, Classic 1610s. Allocating skill points, we just pick greens and we move on. Feats, again, it varies. Clerics are tricky, you need endurance, toughness, you need spell focus. If you want to deal damage from afar, like a mage, you need evocation. If you want to buff your team, you need divination, enchantments. For this subclass specifically, we're gonna take divination and enchantment spell focus. For the deity, everything works with this cleric. It's your choice how you wanna play, good or evil. What you decide to pick, that's the domain you'll get. What I can advise is to have luck domain, perhaps glory, destruction. Those are good to have early on. We're gonna pick, let's say, we're gonna pick Torag, positive energy, with artifice domain. Alignment is your choice, pick what you like. Dwarf, Devilbane, Demon Hunter, Cleric now. We pick Barrow Dwarf. Background remains Diabolist, copy everything else from human. Make sure to pick some solid deity to get luck, glory domain, destruction domain, war domain, and so on. It is your choice here. Devilbane, Dampier, Vampire, Demon Hunter, Cleric. Nosferatu born, Ancient born for a melee cleric. Vetala born for ranged cleric. Regional Diabolist remains, but you gonna switch. If you go with a melee, you go with strength. If you go with Vetala born, you switch strength for dexterity, and that's all there is to know. Everything else you just copy from human. Having that domain for Dampier Vampire is also quite good at the end. Ecclesitheurge Cleric starting build. This is a squishy ranged spellcaster, full evocation necro cleric. Forget about armor and shields, you are here to cast fireballs and flame strikes on your opponents. If not for that, then you're here to summon undead, while still having an option to buff your allies and heal them when the need arises, or deal negative energy damage if the need arises too. Extremely good cleric, and my favorite one in the game is for sure this subclass. Knowledge of Arcana World, Persuasion and Lore Religion are skills that clerics like the most. Races, Human, Elf, Dwarf, Dampier, Aasimar, no matter what you pick, the road will remain the same. You aim for damage spells from start to finish. We pick Human cause it's easiest to explain. There are a lot of valid options for the background selection, but in this case we're gonna pick Nexian Scholar. If you wanna play it risky and heal less, your charisma will be lower here. If you're not sure what you're doing, you should raise charisma a bit and lower wisdom by 2 points. We're gonna stick with a risky choice, cause we want to hurt, and this is the way to go. 10, 14, 10, 11, 20, 12. With skill points, we just stick with greens. Feats, as I said, we want to hurt, evocation, into greater evocation. Deities, we want fire domain deities, so we can get chaos, sun, even luck will merge well with this cleric. For our Ecclesitheurge Cleric, we're gonna take Saranrea with channel positive energy. For the domain, we're gonna go with fire domain into sun domain. Pick whatever you like from alignment. Other races now. Everything I said about human Ecclesitheurge will transfer to other races in terms of feats, deities and domains. So let's see what changes for the starting stats. For the dwarf, we get Barrow Dwarf. Everything else remains the same. For Dampier, we get Nosferatu born. And instead of evocation, we're gonna pick necromancy for a feat. Our background will be Gibeon Necromancer, and our deity will be some death deity with negative energy, and domain will be death or evil. For alignment, pick what you like. Aasimars. Regular base Aasimar is the way to go for Ecclesitheurge. Everything else, you'll just copy from the human. Herald Cleric starting build. This is a summoner cleric with animal companion and different types of summons. Of course, he's also able to heal and buff the entire party. True support, knowledge of arcana and world, persuasion and lore religion are skills that clerics like the most. Light armor or no armor at all, staff in hand or a crossbow and stay far away from the fight. Keep your team and summons alive. That's the way to play this subclass. Races, human, elf, Aasimar, no matter what you pick, the road remains the same. You will aim for summoning spells. We start with human. For background selection, you can pick companions, boosts background selections. You'll find them here. Or you can go with Noble Emissary. I like Noble Emissary because of persuasion and knowledge world skill checks. Background selection, Noble Emissary is a solid option. Acolyte, Diplomat, Necromancer, Orphan, Scholar, Historian, the entire Scholar branch is also valid. Let's pick Noble Emissary for this guide. I repeat, everything I said is a solid choice. The best option would be Gibeon Necromancer for Herald Cleric. Attributes, allocating ability points, 10, 10, 12, 11, 20, 14 is the way to go. Skills, allocating skill points, stick with greens. For feats, we're gonna take Conjuration and Necromancy. For a deity, we're gonna pick Erastial with channel positive energy into Animal Domain, so we can receive Animal Companion. Alignment is your choice, pick whatever you like. For other races, there is not too much to think about. Dwarves, you're gonna get Barrow Dwarf. Everything else remains the same. Dhampirs, you will get Nosferatu Born, Ancient Born, and everything else remains the same. Aasimars, regular base Aasimar, and everything else remains the same. For second deity, for Aasimar, pick some strong AoE buff like, I don't know, luck, glory, or something like that. Priest of Balance Cleric starting build. These are channelers, huge heals and huge negative energy damage. Knowledge of Arcana and World, Persuasion and Lore Religion are skills that clerics like the most. You can play them with or without armor. Race. The most valid race for this subclass are Aasimars. Base Aasimars, to be more precise. For the background, a lot of things will work, from Noble Emissary to the entire Scholar tree, Scholar branch, Orphan, Necromancer, Diplomat, everything will work. For this case, we're gonna take Gibeon Necromancer. Abilities, 10, 10, 12, 13, 18, and 18 for allocating ability points. For skills, we're just gonna take greens, and we leave Knowledge World behind. Feats, Spell Focus Necromancy. Deity and Domain. For this subclass we will pick Calistria into Knowledge Domain because we want Teaching Moment. You are not wrong if you want to go with Luck or Charm, but I really like Teaching Moment the most out of everything here. To round it all up and to speak about clerics and team feats now, if you decide to play as a tanky cleric with a shield, have at least one more companion in your team, that will take coordinated defense, coordinated maneuvers, precise strikes, shield walls. Let me show you. Yellows are team feats, maneuvers, defense, shield wall if you have a shield, and so on. If you decide to play as a ranged spellcaster cleric, make sure to have team feats with your squishy companions. Team feats you should take are allied spellcaster, shake it off, shielded spellcaster. This is the way how the entire party gets strong, especially with leveling. And it's a must for unfair difficulty, for example. It's not needed for easier difficulties at all. I just shared my thoughts and warnings here.